Welcome back, fellow coders. In this video, we are going to set up our development environment and write our very first C# program. So let's get started. So the first thing we need is an integrated development environment. Okay, we need integrated development environment. Okay, so this is basically an IDE that will help us write our code. It has features, rich features that will speed up our development process. Okay, good. So to install Visual Studio, we have to go to the official website of Visual Studio. That is actually Microsoft product, and then we are going to actually target the community version. So once you have opened your web browser, go ahead and type Visual Studio in the address bar like so, Visual Studio. And then just hit on enter after typing, and when you are presented with a search result, select the first link here indicating Visual Studio IDE and code editor for software developers, specifically by Microsoft. Okay, and then just hit on that link, which is going to take you to the official website of Visual Studio. All right, so whilst you are here, the page is still loading. So whilst you are here, you just have to look for the various options that are available. We're going to see them soon. My internet is a bit slow. Good. So this is what we are interested in. We have Visual Studio for Windows, Visual Studio for Mac, and Visual Studio Code for all the platforms that you can make mention of. Okay, but we are interested in Visual Studio for Windows. If you're on Mac, go ahead and install this option, but I am on Windows. I'm going to select this option, and then more to that, you could see that when I hover the mouse pointer over this button here, it drops down and then gives us options that we can select from: professional, and then the enterprise option. I have payment models. Okay, when you start using them, they are actually free trials, but then as time goes by, you would have to make payment. You have to pay for it. Okay, so just to be on the safer side, you can use the community version, which is actually free, and you don't have to pay a dime for that. But if you can afford the professional version and then the enterprise version, which comes with added advantages and all that, just go ahead and do that. Okay, good. So I'm just going to select this community version here, and then wait for the download process to begin. Okay, so thank you for downloading Visual Studio. I'm hoping that anytime soon. Yes, so as you can see, I'm using an a download manager, which has grabbed the download process for me like that. So I'll just hit on download, start download, and actually the process is done. The file size is very minute, it's very small in size, and the reason being that this is an online installer. You would have to stay connected to the internet to get all the necessary packages that you need in order to complete the installation process. So when I go ahead and say open, for instance, it's going to trigger this installer, and I'll just have to accept this one here. So when I minimize whatever I'm doing here, this is what I'm presented with: Visual Studio installer. Let me go ahead and just hit on continue. So this is going to download some pre-installable files, and then from there we can see what to do. Okay, so let's wait for a while. So it is actually getting the Visual Studio installer ready. It is preparing steps behind for us. Okay, so now we are brought to a more in-depth details or options that we need to pay attention to. All right, so these are all, how do you call it, packages that or platforms that we can install in this IDE. So we have ASP.NET and web development. You can check this one if you're interested in writing web application or website with ASP. You can check this one. If you're interested in Azure development, you can check this one. Python, Node.js, and all that, you can check the options that are available for you like that. We also have the .NET development. Okay, good. So we are interested in this one. Okay, let me not check the Python, the Azure, and then the Node.js. We are interested in the ASP.NET and the .NET development. Okay, and this is a more recent one, .NET MAUI. That's a multi-platform framework for developing mobile apps and all that. So you can select that one as well. Okay, so this is what we are most interested in, because that's how come we are going to be able to write our C# codes. Okay, all right. So whilst you do that, you just go ahead and then hit on install. But I'm not going to do that. I have actually installed mine, and I am using the professional version 2019 or so. Yeah, 2019. So you can just make use of this and you'll be good to go. All right, so let me just go ahead and close this one. Now mind you, once you hit on install, the download process is going to take a bit of time depending on your internet connectivity speed and all that. So it should take some time and then it will be successfully completed for you. So whilst it keeps longer, don't get worried. That is how it is going to be. Okay, so I'm going to launch my Visual Studio 2019 here. So we can go ahead and look at how we can write our very first C# code. Okay, so it is now starting. This is a splash screen. Let's wait patiently for the start screen. All right, so this is actually our start screen that we can actually create a new project from. Okay, now you could see that on this left hand side here, on this section here, we have recent documents that I've actually worked with, or project that I've actually worked with. And then there's also the get started section where you can actually clone or check out code. You can open a project or a solution. You can open a local folder, and you can also create a new project. Is that okay? Good. So we are interested in creating a new project. So I'll just go ahead and select create new project. Create new project. And then we are going to search for C#, and then make sure that we select the language as well here, C#. Platform, let's say I am on Windows, so I'm just going to select Windows. And then project type, I'll select desktop for now. All right, good. So this will cause the options here to be refined. Okay, it will filter it according to the parameters that we selected here. Okay, so we are interested in a console application for now. So let me just say that I'm interested in console. So let me change the platform from desktop to the console. Yeah, console. So you can either select the core .NET Core or the .NET Framework. For now, I'm going to be working with console app into bracket .NET Framework, this one. Then just hit next. Let's hit next. Now let's name this one first program. First program, like so. And then just leave everything as default and hit on create. Hit on create. Hit on create. Alright, so it is actually creating a project for us. Let's wait a bit. Let's wait a bit. Okay, so now our project is created successfully for us. Let's try to understand few stuffs that are going on here. Let's understand few stuff that are going on here. Okay, now these are namespaces that are needed to be there all the time. You can actually add on to the namespaces, but for now just leave them there like that. All right, they are stuff that the program need to be able to run successfully, so just leave it there. Whilst you advance, you get to know how to even include yours and all that. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and say that we want to understand what this namespace first program here is, and then what this class actually is. Now C# is an object-oriented programming language, so everything is based on classes. And you could see that from this program here, we can actually find what we call the main method. This is actually a method. Okay, this is actually a method. Now we are going to talk more about object-oriented programming later, so you understand most of these things the better. Okay, so let me not bore you so much, but know that inside the main method, which serves as the entry point of our program, we are going to write a simple, or that is where we write our code or our logics. Okay, it is the entry point, this main method here. Inside here, this is where we write our codes. Once we advance, we are going to see how to create classes and all that, and then still make use of it or make use of them in this main method here. All right, so this is where we start off by writing our simple code. So we are going to print a simple code or script to the console and say hello world. So in order to do that, we are going to use a method or a class called console, which is having the method writeLine. Okay, writeLine, like so. Let me see if I can increase the font size a little. Good. So writeLine, and then I'll pass in hello world, which is actually a string. You open double quote like so, and then pass in a string like so. And then one important thing, look at something. When I run this code by clicking on the start button here, okay, look, at the very top here, just hit on start. Look at what happened. Okay, it is actually building the project. Okay, so you could see that our program ran successfully, but couldn't stay longer for us to really see the output before it went off, right? So one way I like to bypass or deal with this is just say that console after the code, what I want to get printed. After that, beneath it, I'll say console.readline, console.readline, like so, and then terminate it. Now this line here is normally used to get user input, but then When I make use of this, it is going to pause the console or the terminal, which is going to tell the system that more or less like you need an input, so stay there and then get the input. All right, so I'm using that to actually get over the problem that was just demonstrated to you. Okay, so you could see that this time around we are going to have a stable console where we really see the output of what we did. All right, where is it? Oh, okay, so here is it. So as you can see, we are having hello world, and you can see a blinking cursor here. So this means that we can actually input something, right? Yes. So, and that is pretty how to write your first C# program. Congratulations, you've actually set up your development environment and have written your first C# program. Give yourself a pat on the back. Yes. Now in the next video, we will dive deeper into the fundamentals of C# programming, and it's going to be fun. Stay tuned and happy coding. Please don't forget to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you want to get content like this, and stay updated whenever we upload new content on the channel. Thank you for watching. Catch you in another one.